Hello to all my friends out there. So, you guys, we've been going somewhere with these videos. I've been going to the food bank, I've been buying cheap food, and there's a reason, there's a method to the madness, you guys. I used to have this boyfriend, and his sister would always go, Ruthie, what are you up to? Like I'm up to something. I'm not up to something. Okay, so a couple of days ago, I fried some bacon. So I'm going to be eating some down and dirty, cheap food, okay? Like it's an emergency. Okay, what I do is I keep all of my half-eaten packages together. So I had a little pasta left. So I want to move over here for a minute. Thank you very much, Florence Nightingale, for the cutting board. I was thinking about you today. A nurse. If you have any good comments, we would appreciate it if you leave them. So I hope everyone is doing okay. I wanted to mention something to you guys. Okay, one of the things, it's jewelry and collectibles, but one of the things I try to collect are all kinds of fossils. This is a fossil shell, and this is a fossil rock. This is a nice little fossil rock. It was in some kind of collection. But I bought a lot of fossils, and I bought a lot of rocks, and believe it or not, I sold a lot of rocks. Okay, I'm making macaroni and cheese. But if we're like forced to shelter in place, I guess I might as well use it all. This was like one piece of bacon. So this is like going back to no wasting. So if we were like forced to shelter in place, I tried to get heavy cream today, but it was all sold out. I couldn't get any. So I have some bacon grease, and then I just want to add a little flour, and I'm going to make some old-fashioned macaroni and cheese. Everybody has their own. I mean, what if you don't have any Kraft macaroni and cheese? So today, you know, I was all over the place, and one of the places, I was telling my son, I was at Costco, and I was surrounded by white Teslas, and I go, what's with that? And my son said, well, the white Tesla doesn't cost as much. If you pay for a different color, it's going to cost you much. And I thought, wow, what's all these people doing? Well, you know what they were doing? They were stocking up, and they were getting ready to shelter in place. Yes. And basically, if you saw my food storage videos, you know, go into the food bank. Oh, thank you to the follower who told me, why don't you put your powdered milk in mason jars? Well, I don't have any mason jars. So now, this is just powdered milk from Walmart. This is why I hate to change pans. It's hard to get used to new pans. I keep burning everything, and But anyway, it's coming out okay. So what I want to make is some white gravy, and now I could eat this on some toast. I could eat this on some biscuits. I could eat this in a little bowl. You guys know I love, this is bacon gravy basically, but it's going to taste good. So what I've been doing is I've been preparing to shelter in place. Some people are saying 2 weeks, but some people are saying 6 to 9 weeks. Okay, you can still get into the food banks, and they're pretty safe. Okay, look at this. This is my Walmart salsa jar, and this thing held 3 cups of water, of milk. So I want to make a little batch of macaroni and cheese on the cheap. And this is going to taste good. And to tell you the truth, if you're in some kind of lockdown situation, your milk is lactose. That is a milk sugar. Your brain only knows sugar and fat. That's why we give babies milk, because it's got milk, fat, and lactose. So, you know, if you're in some kind of disaster situation, you want to have some milk. So I use the Walmart one this time. Okay, so now I want to show you what I keep my half-eaten packages, and I have very few because I eat them down. I have some oatmeal. I usually eat that in the middle of the night. I have some Tang, and I have some grape juice. This is not counting what's in my refrigerator. And then I have some crackers, but you know I make soup and some oyster crackers. And I have this little bit of macaroni and cheese, so you can see I'm pretty good at keeping my half-eaten packages. So if you need to prepare to shelter in place, get all your half-eaten packages and be determined to eat them down. And you know, those people, I got this at the food pantry, those people with money are preparing to shelter in place. They're driving big, huge SUVs into the Costco and they're loading them down. There is a terrible traffic jam. My son had to go over there and get some flea medicine for the dog, and he said it was a madhouse. I said, yeah, all the people with money are preparing to shelter in place. I'm not kidding around. But you can still do that, even, no matter how poor you are. You can, you can go to the food bank and you can buy this kind of cheese pretty cheap at Aldi's. But truthfully, if you're kind of on the poor side, you better hang on to your money as best you can, if you know it's good for you, in case you get your hours cut or you can't work. And I wouldn't be surprised. And if you're really poor, go apply for food stamps and stuff now before the crowd gets there. It looks like this virus is going to be a pretty bad situation. So now I just want to add, I don't want to waste my cheese, but I want to add it a little bit at a time to get a nice creamy macaroni and cheese. And I got this totally and completely free at the food bank. Today I went to the food pantry, and I ran into a young girl that came down here from Washington, and she said that it was so freezing cold she literally could not stand it another minute. She just couldn't stand it. It was so cold. And I'm thinking a lot of people might be coming this way, you guys. And God knows what kind of condition they might be in. I mean, this young girl, you know, I couldn't believe it. You know, way down here from Oregon, all by herself. Now that's kind of scary. Okay, so now I made myself some tea yesterday, some mint tea. And this stuff is very, very yummy when it's iced tea. So I'm going to drink it. So I just want to melt my cheese. So don't forget this recipe, you guys. You just make white gravy. And then you get it nice and cheesy as you like it. You don't have to go really cheesy. It's still going to be very tasty. Okay, so now I have some rules for you guys. Rule 1, if it looks like a snake, if it crawls like a snake, it's a snake. Viral pneumonia is pneumonia. If there is a fever, if you see somebody who looks deathly ill, move totally out of the area as fast as you can. If it looks like a snake, if the person looks like they're sick, don't take a chance with your life, with the life of your kids. You know, you might give it to your elderly parents. If it looks like a fever, if they look like they're sick, they're sick. And then they're saying, oh, well, it's a dry cough. Okay, I was a nurse student. I was studying healthcare for a long time, okay? They're coughing and they're spewing the virus all over the place, dry or wet. Don't trust anybody that's coughing. If they're coughing, move out of the area immediately. Cover your mouth. Cover your face and move out of the area immediately. And then the last one they're admitting to is fatigue. All right, let's just put it out there. They're going to be sick. They're going to have viral pneumonia. That's what it is. It's a pneumonia. It's a very dangerous pneumonia. I was around every kind of contagious stuff you can imagine. And I used to ask the old nurses, oh my gosh, what'd you do in the day? You know, honestly, to God, what one told me, we held our breath. Don't ever forget that. Hold your breath and get the hell out of it. Fever, dry cough. I was in a store, and this woman, I used to work in salons, and I can tell you for sure they had tuberculosis. Fatigue, pneumonia is highly contagious. The only time I ever had it is I had it in the hospital. I had toxic shock. My neighbor had pneumonia, and guess who got pneumonia? Me. Okay. Now, another thing about, have you ever heard that old saying? Don't get cold, you're going to catch pneumonia. Stay warm and dry. That's very, you know, anybody knows that. Yeah, well, today I got awfully wet. But as soon as, this is going to be good. Look at this macaroni and cheese. Am I going to be suffering being cheap? Hell no, I ain't going to be suffering. I'm going to be eating this tastiness that I made. Okay. Stay warm and stay dry. It's not a joke. It could cost you your life. Okay, now, prepare to be stuck in the house, not to be able to go to work. So, okay, you're not a wealthy person. You can't go and buy the whole Costco out. So maybe you're going to want to prepare buying cheap food. Now, you can live on these. Everybody's got their own spin on this. But here's what I would consider: eggs, lunch meat and cheese in the freezer, bacon and sausage in the freezer, cereal and powdered milk, top ramen, Vienna sausage, rice, beans, canned fruit, and canned vegetables. Okay, I'm going to tell you for true. If you have rice and beans, you're going to be in a world of hurt. You need some fat, and you need some kind of sugar so you can survive. I mean, this is like, what if it was for a few months, you know? Some people are saying 6 to 9 months. I mean, don't freak out, but we don't know at this point what might happen. It's not pretty what's going on over there in China and Italy. It's bad news. Okay, now, gather all the half-eaten packages you have in your house and eat it down now. When you buy something, say to yourself, is this going to help me to shelter in place? This is going to help me. I'm eating my packages. I save my bacon grease. Yeah, well, that's fattening. This is no time to be worried about diets, people. This is a time to worry about saving your hide, if needs be. You don't have to eat this today. I'm just saying, it's a viable meal. Okay. Go to the food banks or pantries before it becomes dangerous. Also, people could be flooding these places, you know, if they can't work. You know, even you know, I was at the senior place. There was people there 100 years old. These people are 100 years old. Not all of them, but quite a few. I was surprised. Okay, and apply for food stamps before that becomes a big pain in the you-know-what. Okay, I even watched Grant Cardone, and he's a fairly wealthy developer, and he cracked me up because I did this video on what rich people eat. Yes, seeds, raisins, seeds and fruit, you know, and, you know, it was just so funny because it was all the stuff I had done the video on, what rich people are buying. I go, oh, so that's what they were piling into those Teslas. But you know, I would say the best thing to do is, what kind of cheap food do you already know? Oh, there was a good comment, and it was about the tomatoes and macaroni. Sorry, I forgot which one of you mentioned it, but it was canned tomatoes with a macaroni, sugar, pepper, and a little butter. Okay, now I want to mention a couple of things. Okay, don't say carry gloves. Don't say, well, you know, well, I can't get any gloves, so what is the use? Get any gloves, and if it's really bad, wear two. Get wipes, any kind of wipes. Get masks, you can always wear two. Get disinfectant spray. I got this at Walmart, or they have it at they had it at 99 cents only. And then one of the best disinfectants is just to get alcohol. See, this one opens, and you know, you can use that. Okay, so now back to when I was, okay, so carry gloves, you can always wear two. You can always wear two masks, wipes, alcohol. Okay, now when you cough and sneeze, forget this stuff coughing into your hands or coughing into the crooks of your arm, you know, right here. Don't be coughing around on your person. Cough into a Kleenex or toilet paper and throw it away immediately and wash your hands. Okay, so saying also you can wear sunglasses if you have sunglasses. Out here, everyone has sunglasses. Okay, now let's say you're in some place and you go, wow, I feel like I was just exposed. As soon as you get out into the fresh air, don't breathe in real deep. Blow all the air out of your lungs until it's actually hurting. You want to expel all those particles out of your lungs as soon as you can, and do that a couple of times. Well, I did it, you know, until I thought, this is when I was around the MRSA. Okay, wash your nostrils out with some soap and water. Not too much soap, you know, don't be stupid. Wash your hands first and then rinse them good with water. You don't know how many times I saved my life doing that. People go, that's non-professional. Well, really, how come I was never sick? All the whole time. I was all around every filthy imaginable germ. Okay, now this one is important. Listen, here's my wound. Where's my wound? From the aloe vera, remember? Keep those covered. You might want to wear long sleeves. You know, keep as much of your body covered as you possibly can. Now, if you have any good tips for us, please leave them under comment. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.